questions for you. So how did that feel?
Um, Kind of strange.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Like I could definitely see that woman,
Mhm.
and like I've never seen her before, but I could definitely see her and like feel her loss and her sadness.
Mhm.
Like like she was so hopeless, but she also was like so sweet, like when she was begging, like she was so sweet to everybody.
Mhm. Mhm. And what about the feeling of you connecting in with that feeling of the softness and that messaging? What was the message do you think that you got from that whole scene that you regressed back to?
I mean, it was like so clear that there was like this like heavy darkness and then this like soft lightness, and that they were like coexisting, like they were both there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and I feel like in like my present life, like that sadness, darkness, like pain, like that, like I carry that in me,
Mhm.
but it really like doesn't feel like a part of me, and like I don't know why it's there and like constantly looming.
Mhm. It was interesting when we regressed back to that first scene where you were a baby and you had that belief of, I've got to figure this all out on my own, that I'm alone. And then we went back to this past life scene. It was the same belief. I've got to figure this all out on my own. I'm alone in this. This is my own struggle. And the messaging was that you are never alone, right? And that you need to soften. And that almost like that is, you keep having potentially these lives keep, the feeling keeps happening until the lesson is learned, right? Until the awareness of I am never alone, and to soften, and to, it said, don't be afraid to lose because you'll never be alone. You are safe. That was the messaging. Yeah.
Mhm.
So interesting though that like the darkness, you say, it's almost like it's real, it's just carried over. Of course, a different era, different country,
Yeah.
but yeah. What's your overall feeling about being able to access her and see her?
Um, I mean, it makes sense.
Mhm.
It makes sense, definitely. I mean, I have such a great fear of like losing people I love.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's kind of like coming from that.
Yeah.
hmm Any questions you still have that are kind of looming that you're like wanting to explore?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Mm. It's a lot to take in, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that being able to access, would you say when I had you access that spirit guide, would you say that it was more of a spirit guide or was just a higher self part of you? How would you describe it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely more of like a higher self, like an all-knowing kind of
Mm-hmm.
part of me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't feel like separate from me, like a separate entity or anything really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a little bit, but not like, you
Not
know,
like a cat or something, like a
yeah,
spirit guide that's like guiding you through. Yeah.
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 And I think
Mhm.
that's why like it wasn't like a figure or like anything like that. It was kind of just like a feeling, or like I described it as like soft and light and fluffy, and um yeah, it was like just like a warm sense.
Mhm. Do
Yeah,
you feel
but
like you would be able to access that again on your own?
I mean, I can pretty clearly like I have a visual of it, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and it was, and because of like the scene that I was picturing was like so dark and heavy, that higher self like really stood out as um light and bright, and you know
Mhm.
just like lighter. It was like such a clear contrast.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Which one do you think has more truth in your life now? Like which one is, because I feel like there's a lot of different energies that that showed up, right? Big contrast. Um, Either one of those, we could dedicate our time to, you know, dedicating our time to grow, to cultivate, to. I feel like which one do you think, was there a clear answer of like which one needs more energy or more focus?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
What
I
was
think,
what was coming up for you with that?
I mean, I definitely feel like I live more in the darker parts,
Mhm.
which are very uncomfortable,
Yeah. Yeah.
not pleasant, but, and I don't want to be there. I don't want to feel those things.
Mhm.
Um, so I certainly would like to, cultivate or give more consciousness to the higher part of me that is there, that I
Mhm.
saw and felt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, just to hear each person's experience um, with what they see. And here's a really crazy thing is it's like always very similar. The higher self, the message of you are never alone in my work with past life regression, but even more with RTT, that message is like so reoccurring no matter where the person lives or what they're, like that higher universal knowledge is universal. It's like that is a truth that you are never alone. You are safe,
Mm,
which is interesting.
yeah,
That it continues to come up over and over. Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will let you go. Um, but I I feel like you were really able to access a lot, and it was like the picture was so, I mean, just the way you were describing it was very clear. Um, Probably even more clear for you, as it was like right in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had to kind of I'm glad you said what you said at the beginning of like don't like judge it or try to think of something. Like it was really like I was like, is this what I'm seeing? Like what is so weird?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I just
Yeah.
went with it. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Leanne. Let me know if like more connections come up in the, send me an email if more you're like, oh, and now I see why this, or I see these connections. I'm sure things will start kind of connecting and clicking together over time.
okay,
So,
great. Thank
all
you.
right.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
absolutely. We'll talk soon. Bye,
Okay.
Leanne.
Here, bye.